2023 Honda CR-V hybrid, top of the line from Ontario. It was made in Ontario, so why not get one from Ontario, right? He paid 48 Canadian dollars, so that's less than American dollar, and it's a hybrid. Now, if you're gonna buy one of these things, you got two choices now. Open the hood, I'll explain. And look, this isn't a cheapie. There's no little metal rod. It's got hydraulics on it, so hey, it is a 2-liter Honda engine. It's the Atkinson cycle to get better gas mileage, and it's a hybrid, so it's got an electric motor and it's got a battery in the trunk. The choice for this is a 1.5 liter turbocharged engine. Something this big, 1.5 isn't enough, so of course they turbocharged it. Well, I don't like little turbocharged engines. They won't last as long. In the real world, they won't get the gas mileage they advertise now. It gets 40 miles a gallon in the city and 36 on the highway because it's a hybrid. It regenerates electricity. You can't really argue that. And these are real figures. This isn't some made-up crap. This is what he actually gets. And when you look inside, you can see it's got a lot of room. The fake leather seats, which of course will last longer. And for those who feel cramped to space, check it out. Look, it actually goes a little more than 90 degrees. You got a lot of room to get in and out the back seat. It isn't one of these you're squeezing in to get in. Hey, don't even get me talking about this Polaris, man. Climbing in and out of this thing is a chore. And it doesn't even have doors. It's all-wheel drive. And from my experience with the Hondas and their hybrids, they're pretty much like Toyotas. They're extremely dependable. You take care of them, they can last an awful long time. Even though I'm not really a fan of hybrid because I keep my cars 20, 30, 40 years, and I know how much it costs to fix that stuff. I've got all the new equipment for working on them, and I know it costs a fortune. Something like this probably won't break down till it gets, I don't know, 150, 180, 200,000 miles or more. So you're happy with that. Yeah. But I'm happy with 300, 400, 500,000 miles. So I'm a cheapskate. So in that case, personally, I wouldn't buy this or its sister ship because it's a 1.5 turbo. I definitely would not buy a 1.5 turbo. It's going to wear out a lot faster. This engine is an Atkinson cycle. They put out actually less horsepower. That's why it needs the electric boost. But they can last a really long time. They don't have all this turbocharged rammed air that's going to wear them out faster like the 1.5 liter turbo does. So if you really are looking at longer life with this, you'd probably be better off getting a hybrid than getting a 1.5 liter turbo engine. Plus, in the real world, you're going to get a lot better gas mileage. Try finding something like this. It's just nice that gets 40 miles a gallon in town. Good luck. Now, they've been selling the heck out of CR-Vs for decades, right? It's number 2 in the United States to the RAV4, which is its main competitor. They both offer hybrids. The only difference is the RAV4 offers an actual automatic transmission. But as this owner just told me, he's got a friend who's got a new RAV4 fancy multi-speed transmission. He didn't like driving it because it's doggy. And I gotta admit, it gets phenomenal gas mileage. We rented one in Death Valley. We got like 55 miles a gallon going 50 miles an hour. Park had a lower speed limit, so we went slower, right? So he got phenomenal gas mileage. But it did not have the acceleration this thing has because this does have a CVT transmission. All the hybrids I've ever seen have a CVT transmission, but it's an eCVT transmission. Now, if you want to just test it out yourself, thinking about buying one, hey, you can listen to me. I'll give you all the technical specs, but I am not your rear end sitting there and driving it. Road test them to see what you like, because the Honda CR-V that has the regular CVT and a 1.5 turbo gasoline engine, you're going to find out that this thing shifts a heck of a lot better than that one does. Because this has an eCVT and the other one just has a normal CVT. Honda doesn't offer automatic transmissions in those anymore. You know, if you want an automatic transmission, you'd have to go to a RAV4. Not the hybrid RAV4, because the hybrid is a CVT. It's an eCVT just like this thing is. Of course, it has all the modern conveniences, you know. You kick it and it opens. I kicked it and it stopped. We'll kick it again. And it's warning you. It's not as fast as me, but you know, and it's got the giant hydraulics because it's opening and closing itself. And you can see he's got the security flap there. I like that. And there's plenty of room for what you're carrying. And if you're not carrying a bunch of people, just like our Matrix, pop the seats down. You got tons of room for carrying stuff with. Let's see if it'll close now. It doesn't like me. Let's take it for a spin and see what this hybrid does. First thing I gotta say is the seats are ultra comfy. And they're gonna stay comfy because they're not leather, they're fake leather. Of course I have this on, not a fan button, it's got a push button. And it has an electric parking brake. Well, what can you do? Got a nice wide angle lens camera for the backup so you can see the lights matrix. It is a nice backup camera. Check it out. So we're gonna put it into sport mode. Tells you right there it's in sport mode. And you can hear the noise. Listen, the angels are with us. As you can see, it's got a really nice heads-up display here. I like the gauges too. Not only do you have your speedometer on the right, but you also have it there. And he switched it over to miles per hour because he's driving the United States. And of course it has the 50 limit because you can see, okay, this thing goes to 220, right? No, it's not the only CR-V hybrid that does 220 miles an hour. That's 220 kilometers an hour. And it's brand new, everything's good in it. Now, these roads in Rhode Island, I say, are terrible. And, okay, you feel some of the bumps. It is an SUV, but it rides perfectly fine. On the flat road, it's totally smooth. When you get a somewhat high, somewhat boxy vehicle, you're always going to get a little rough riding when you get on really crappy roads. Now we're at the opening here, and there's nobody on the right, so we'll wait till the left, and here we go. Woo! Hey, it makes a nice sound too. Let me tell you, a lot of these are too quiet. Honda wasn't stupid. This has a dual exhaust on it, and it really makes a good sound. With the hybrid engine, it's got plenty of oomph. Now, you're not going to be getting 40 miles a gallon if you drive like I just did, but when you want to, you can. And being a Honda, you know, it's going to handle perfectly fine. They sell an awful lot of these CR-Vs. There's a lot of reasons why. Originally, Honda was way behind Toyota with hybrids. The Prius just blew them away. Honda couldn't give away their little hybrids. I remember seeing showroom floors full of them in Houston, and they put them in the lots. They couldn't sell them. But they pretty much caught up with Toyota now. Of course, it's whisper quiet when you're just going slow. And realize it's not a plug-in hybrid. It doesn't drive around miles and miles on the battery. It's a boost system that works quite well to get better gas mileage, and you can twirl around really slow for a little while on electricity, but you won't be going far or fast. Smooth ride, but when you want power, there it goes. And of course, it's got all the modern conveniences, lane departure, you can see the picture over there. All that stuff, I don't trust my life for any of them, but I mean, it comes in handy if you're not paying attention. So there you have it, a brand new CR-V, the hybrid version. Phenomenal gas mileage, nice zippy pickup. Certainly Honda dependability wasn't all that bad, because that's 48,000 Canadian dollars, smooth ride, phenomenal gas mileage, lots of space. If you're looking for a hybrid SUV, I'd say road test this and road test the RAV4. And buy the one you like, because they're both well made, right? This is a bit zippier than the RAV4 is. Or you might be a Toyota fan, you want to get a Toyota. You know, you might want a Toyota automatic transmission, but from my experience, you're going to pay a little bit more for the Toyota hybrid. They're really in demand, and around here, they're going for 5-10 grand over sticker, and he actually paid less than sticker for this. Maybe it's just the Canadians being nice, you know, and East Coast Americans not being so nice, but I mean, either way you look at it, this thing was made in Ontario, it stays in Ontario, and hey, I'm impressed. Accord Sport Hybrid, and it's got some really interesting technology. Of course, it's a beautiful looking car. It's a Honda Accord, and it's a 2024, so it's got style, it's got the fancy wheels, but one thing on the back that's different is it is an Accord Hybrid Sport. When you look under the hood, and it's a beautiful paint job. I really like the color. You see what looks like a normal Honda engine. It's a 4-cylinder inline, but there's really nothing normal about it. To begin with, just like the Toyota hybrids, it's an Atkinson cycle engine. So it's built for more efficiency. Now, originally they made Atkinson cycle engines a long time ago, and they failed because they have less horsepower, but they get better gas mileage. So you might think, okay, this thing must be a dog. No, it's not a dog. Because it's a hybrid, but not any hybrid, it's Honda's new system. Under here, there are 2 electric motors. The big one on the top puts out like 181 horsepower, and the little one is used to charge the battery up and to start the car. It has no lack of acceleration because of the hybrid system. But since it's Honda's system that's different than everybody else's, he averages 46 miles a gallon driving this thing around. Now, he does usually keep it in econ mode, because if he puts it in sport mode, man, it's even zippier, but of course, you're going to use more gas. It can run on this engine alone. It goes through the drive motors in there. It can run on the motor itself, or it can run on the gasoline motor and the electric motor at the same time. This is a normal hybrid. It's not a plug-in hybrid. You never have to worry about plugging it in, because if you decelerate or hit the brakes, regenerative braking sends electricity back to the battery through the little electric motor on the bottom. And if you're driving down the road and the battery's getting low, part of the gasoline motor engine can run the car, while another part can recharge the battery. It has this very interesting electronically controlled clutch system, so that extra electricity, the bottom motor, which is also of course a generator, to recharge the battery until it's full, and then it doesn't energize it anymore. So not being a fully electric car, plug-in hybrid, it's a much safer and prone to less problems than a plug-in hybrid or a full electric car, because the battery's in the back inside the car, just like a Toyota Prius, as long as it's not a plug-in Prius. So you don't have to worry about salt water intrusion in the winter when they're throwing salt on the road, destroying the battery. It is inside the car. Realize this, that if you get a plug-in hybrid or a full electric car, the batteries are much bigger than these. So they're all on the bottom of the car, and they get destroyed by the salt and the water in the winter and just plain old road grit, so they can have problems. If you remember, last year in Quebec, the Canadian government forced Toyota to fix all these plug-in RAV4s for free, because Toyota said, oh no, that's the wiring, that's not part of the drivetrain. The Canadians said, you're going to fix those for free, and they had to either fix them or reimburse people who are already paid to get them fixed, because a plug-in hybrid has a lot of electronics outside of the car, including the battery, and that causes problem. In this case, no, it's inside the car. You don't have to think about it, so you don't have to worry about range anxiety either. He averages like 44 or 45 miles a gallon in this thing. Of course, a true hybrid, so it gets a little bit better gas mileage in town than it does on the highway, but it'll still get in the 40s on the highway if you put it in the economy mode. So it gets phenomenal gas mileage. Now, if you're thinking about transitioning into the future, my advice would be do it with a hybrid like this. Don't go full electric, because and even you're sticking your neck out, because that plug-in hybrid's got the big battery on the bottom that's going to get destroyed over time. The plug-in hybrid and full electric cars, those batteries cost a fortune. Now, when these things first come out, of course, even the regular hybrid batteries are expensive, but take like the Priuses. I've seen people get $900 refurbished batteries that worked okay. So you're not paying the $5,000 to $9,000 the original batteries were, and over time, I'm sure these things will come out with rebuilt ones as they age. But this guy didn't have to worry about that for quite some time, because he purchased the extended warranty. Now, I'm not always a fan of extended warranties, but he purchased it through Honda, and in this case it's smart. He now has 120,000 miles, or 7 years, all the electronic stuff. Right now, if you don't purchase this, it's like 3 years or 38,000 miles for a bunch of the car. The batteries generally have a longer warranty, but he went for the whole package. And in the case of me hating extended warranties, this is one case when I'd say you're probably wise to buy the extended warranty, so you got 7 years, 130,000 miles, a trouble-free drive. Now, I did have to pay $2,700 for the extended warranty, but if you put that over an 8-year period, that's not much. And realize, this is extremely high technology. For that amount of money, in a hybrid like this, I'd say it's definitely worth it. Now, on the other hand, let's say you're going to buy a conventional engine Honda, I'd say don't waste your money on the warranty, because hey, 130,000 miles, 7 years, I never see Hondas break before then anyway. So, but in the case of this particular new hybrid design, I'd say get the warranty. He's already used the warranty. Now, you can't blame the car. It's because he lives in Massachusetts and he says they got the worst roads. I kind of argue that Rhode Island usually gets the worst roads. Well, one of his tires blew up and he almost didn't make it here, because this is one thing that I got against many new cars. Because inside the trunk, there's no spare tire. Yeah, the evil swines took the spare tires out. He waited 4 hours for a AAA guy to come, took it to the dealer, but he got a new tire free at least, because he has the warranty. I mean, hey, the guy paid 35 grand for a car. Couldn't they have given him a spare tire, right? And they try to say, well, it takes up space, it weighs, you get better gas mileage without a spare tire. Well, guess what? Most men have spare tires on them. They're adding the weight just climbing into the car, right? And they don't give you one because it's cheaper to make them, that's all. Hey, please, people, even if it's those crappy donut spares, at least he could have put it on, then he could have driven where he wanted to go and get it fixed, right? I mean, they'll give you a little air pump or something, but hey, you got a big hole in your car. Air pump is going to do you any good. It gets shredded. Something goes wrong with it. Please, bring back spare tires, companies. It's getting to be ridiculous. Now, if you're looking at an Accord, you got two choices, really. You can get this hybrid, or you can get a turbocharged 4. I don't advise getting the turbocharged 4. Turbocharged engines always wear out faster. Extra pressure, higher RPMs. But in the case of this thing, the big electric motor hiding under here, it takes most of the torque when you're really taking off. And of course, electric motors have instant torque. As soon as they take off, they have full torque. Unlike a gasoline engine that, like a turbo, has to rev up high before it starts putting out a lot of torque and horsepower, this puts it out right away. So they accelerate quite well, but the acceleration isn't wearing your engine out because it doesn't have to over rev because it's using the electric motor to give it oomph. Oh, as complex as this thing may be, you get power and phenomenal gas mileage at the same time while not wearing the engine out. I've seen turbo gasoline 4-cylinder engines burn out at 65,000 miles in some cars. I've seen many of these Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder engines go 300,000, still running like a clock, not burning any oil, because with the hybrid system, they're not being strained. Now, granted, there's plus and negative everything. The negative is it's extremely complex, right? When they break, good luck finding somebody to fix it, right? But as it's a Honda and he's got a 120,000 mile warranty, hey, he's not have to think about that for quite some time. But from my experience with these things, I predict this thing's gonna last a really long time because Honda makes good engines. The only thing that messes with most modern Honda engines are some of them will get oil dilution. They'll get gasoline in the oil. And that's because they have turbocharged GDI engine. All that pressure blows the gasoline past the rings and away you go. Take a look inside. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of complexity on this. It can show you the power you're using. It can show if it's only working on EV, if it's using the engine. And the big plus with these things are, you never have to worry about fan belts because the car doesn't have any fan belts, drive belts, whatever you want to call it. It's got electronic air conditioning, it's got electronic power steering, so it don't need no stinking fan belts. You don't have to worry about them wearing out. It doesn't have any. Now, here we go on the worst road in Rhode Island. We'll see what it's like on the bumps. Boy, it's smooth. And that's even in the sport function. But the real test is going to be up the top of the hill. Let's see how it accelerates with this crazy 2 electric motor and Atkinson cycle gasoline engine hooked up together. See, they have insane range. He already drove here and he still got 565 miles of range left. No range anxiety here. You're only gonna get butt anxiety because your butt's gonna get sore from sitting for 600 miles driving down the road. So here we go. Woo! It almost burned out, but it's got traction control, so it wouldn't let it burn out. Now you can tell by the noise it's a CVT transmission, but you step on it, instant torque from that electric motor. This baby's fun to drive, even though they technically call it a CVT transmission, an intelligent electronic one. It's fast, but it gets good gas mileage, and it doesn't have the lag that a regular CVT does. And when you stop cars, all you can hear is the turn signal clicking. I have it in sport mode, so the motor stays on. If you're one of those people that hate engines that turn on and off, just put it in sport mode, then it won't shut itself off. I gotta say, it's a typical Honda, you know? It handles like a dream when you're taking off, and even going uphill. Right, this baby goes, man, it goes. And you can mess with the paddle shifters if you want. Me, I'll just step on the gas. It's fast enough. Man, that thing's got some nice zip to it. Let's see, it shows you how the power flows. We're going downhill, so it's green. It's regenerating electricity. We step on the gas, then it shows the power's coming from the blue electricity to run it. But now we're gliding, and now we're hitting the brakes. and it just regenerates electricity while you're going down the road. You can also see the way I'm driving, okay? It says current drive is 27 miles a gallon. I'm driving like a maniac, right? He gets 44 miles a gallon because he doesn't put it in sport much, keeps it on eco, and he drives conservatively. That shows you the real difference. There's perfect proof here. He gets 20 miles a gallon better than I do because I'm hitting the pedal to the metal to try it out. So if you don't want the pedal to the metal, you can see it's on sport. You can put it in an individual setup, or normal, or if you want the best gas mileage, keep it in economy, like he does. And look, economy shows you it's green. We'll go back one. Oh, look, it's green, it's economy, everything's green. It's rare that you can find a car like this that can basically do everything, right? You want to get 45, 46 miles a gallon or better? Put it on econo. You want to drive like me, like a scalded ape? Put it on sport. You're going to spend more on gasoline, but you can do that whenever you want. It's not like, well, I spent a bunch of money building my engine up and now it's real fast, but it eats a lot of gas. Well, push a button, you go from 27 miles a gallon to 47 miles a gallon if you drive equivalently, of course. But I do have to say, it's extremely complex technology, 2 electric motors, Atkinson cycles through this really crazy transmission system that goes to the drive wheels. But Honda generally makes things pretty good. The only problem I've seen on these is some of the cars that they made previous to this one, they forgot to put a fuse on one of the wires, and they said, oh, it could have a fire, so they had to recall them and put a fuse on a particular wire. That was the only thing. I've not seen them break down. I haven't seen anybody have any problems with them. It is Honda, and let's face the facts. Now, I'm not going to say anything about when this thing has 250, 300,000 miles. If somebody decides to buy a used one with no warranty, well, you're rolling the dice there. But a brand new one with Honda's technology, I find it infinitely superior to buying an actual electric car with a battery that runs it all the time. There's no anxiety with this for range. They go a long time. You can go fast, you can go slow. It's a Honda Accord. I mean, it rides great, it looks great. I gotta say, I'm impressed by this car. Of course, I'm a cheapskate. I'm not gonna shell out 35 grand on a car, right? So, it'll be a while before you see me owning one of these, but you never know what'll happen in the future, you know? 2022 CX-5 Mazda. You gotta say, they're beautiful looking vehicles. Mazda's got the style down pat, and this is CX-5 all-wheel drive, but it is a Skyactiv turbo. On the other hand, it's made in Japan, which is what you want. Now, the owner was thinking about getting a CX-30, but he went to the bigger one because he saw that one was made in Mexico. This is made in Japan, and that is a smart move. You get a Japanese car made in Japan, they are always better. Especially better than stuff that's made in Mexico. Now, Mazda and Toyota are making cars in Alabama on the same assembly line, and I haven't seen any problems with that. But personally, I'd stay away from cars made in Mexico. So far, he's got 25,000 miles, and the only problem he had, the infotainment system went a little wacky. He reset it, and then it worked. But other than that, he's had no problems at all. So look under the hood, Skyactiv G Turbo. Like I say, I'm not a turbo fan, and there goes the stupid beauty cover in the snow. There it goes. Mazda makes pretty good engines, right? This is the Skyactiv Turbo, very complex system. So far, he's had not a lick of problem with it. I haven't seen any particular problems. Now, if you drive it conservatively, he gets 27 on the highway. But he says it's more 22, 23 when he gets on it because he likes driving it fast. And considering it's a nice, spacious car, and it is all-wheel drive, that's what you're going to get in the real world. Don't listen to any of this crap about, oh, turbos get better gas mileage. Now, they do have more power, yes, but realize when they do the gas mileage testing, it's a load of baloney. They run them on dynos and stuff, and the turbo's going at 1 speed, right? When a human being, especially a man like this who likes to drive fast, gets in one of these, whoop, it's pedal to the metal, the turbo kicks in, it revs higher, and consequently, you get a lot worse gas mileage than what they're rated for. His is real, and that's what you're gonna get if you're a normal or hard driver with one of these things. We've got all kinds of electronics for the Skyactiv system. It really is a marvel of engineering. Mazda's pretty smart. Look, they tell you to use 5W30. So I really think their engineers know what they're doing. because with the turbo, it needs better lubrication. A lot of the modern cars are going to 0.20, 0.10. Now, they realize that the system needs lubrication for the turbo that's spinning real fast, so they're not using the super lightweight oil. And I think that was a smart move on Mazda's behalf. Mazda's got some excellent engineers, percentage of them's owned by Toyota now, and as far as I'm concerned, Mazdas have gone way up in quality compared to what they were making decades ago. Where Honda, I see, is starting to go downhill, Mazda's actually going uphill. Now, this has an actual 6-speed automatic transmission with gears, which is one of the reasons he bought it. He's like me. We both hate CVTs because they just don't feel right. I mean, it's gotten to the point that if you look at any of the modern ones, they have fake shift points where it feels like they're shifting. They don't have any gears to shift with, but they're faking it because they know people don't like the way he said, let's try to redesign it. This is an actual 6-speed, a proven transmission, gets decent gas mileage, but is a joy to drive. So you're getting a car that is fun to drive. He's happy that he didn't get the smaller one, even though he had to pay more for this. A lot of times, if you balance what you want versus what you get, a lot of times you're better off paying a little bit more. This thing's made in Japan. It'll outlast the stuff made in Mexico by far. Now, all that said, the owner just told me it was a compromise vehicle because he wanted a real sporty one, right? And she wanted a real practical one. Well, I do have to say, they found a perfect compromise because it's very practical, but it's also sporty. You'll see when we take it for a road test. They're very sporty vehicles, like most Mazdas are. Their zoom zoom isn't just a slogan. They are pretty zippy cars. Now, his previous vehicle was a Ford Escape, and he was really furious at it because he found it kept getting water inside the car. Took it to Ford. They said, oh, we can't find anything wrong. So he takes it to an independent garage, and they explain, well, they didn't really weld the roofs right, so they leak and water gets in, and Ford isn't having anything to do with fixing them free because, of course, it would cost them a fortune. They would have to tear the whole inside of the car off and the roof. They'd have to re-weld it, and then they'd have to put it all back together again. So he said, to heck with that, and he did get lucky because he got rid of it during the pandemic, and the prices were so insane. He got rid of it for what he paid for it. So he paid 40 grand for this, which is 5 grand less than the average car at the time. We'll stick my fancy computer on it, see what's going on. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with it, but hey, you never know. Well, here we go. We got it all set up. We're gonna do a standalone diagnosis. Shouldn't take long. Read the VIN already. It is a pretty new car after all. Got a lot of high tech. Knows it's a CX-5, 2.5 liter automatic, nice sized engine, all-wheel drive. Okay, whole topology scan. So here we go. Now while it's scanning, let's look around. All kinds of controls on your steering wheel. Nice sporty steering wheel, and it is a 6-speed automatic, which you can also shift manually. Got the cute little paddle shifters if you want to shift it yourself. It does have the electric parking brake. I don't like them, but they all come with them these days. Nice sunroof, good controls. Okay, now strangely enough, there's 7 trouble codes. So let's start out and see what's going on. The instrument cluster. Trouble code is low tire pressure. Well, that's bizarre. He did say the instrument panel got a little bit odd, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to erase that code. Well, that's gone, so it says it has ABS code. That's probably going to be another tire pressure code. And it says there's a problem with the steering wheel position sensor. Now, he hasn't had any problem with it, so while we're driving, so for the time being, we'll erase that code too. The PCM code, so let's check that out. Brake pedal position, accelerator pedal position incompatible. We're really getting some weird ones here. So I'll erase that one too. Now, he still has the original battery. A lot of them might be related to that, so we're going to test that before we take it for a road test after I look at all this data. There's another code for the smart start unit. Maybe it isn't as smart as it thinks it is. Now, I realize this vehicle doesn't have that stupid start-stop system. He didn't like it. He didn't want a car with that, so he bought one that doesn't have that in it. And I agree. Wears out an engine starting and stopping it all the time. Anti-theft system transmitter has a problem, but it's always started for him. He hadn't had a problem, so we'll erase that one. And we'll check. Here's some more codes here. Forward sensing camera. I see those things have a problem all the time. Probably the thing that says that dirt on it or something. That has codes for the vision system camera on it. Performance or incorrect operation. Performance. They do get dirty. You gotta clean those cameras on the front of the car every once in a while. All right, we'll look at the last one. Smart brake support. Radar cruise control. Software incompatibility with vehicle dynamics control module. Boy, that's a mouthful for you. He could go get it reprogrammed if he wanted to. So let's start her up. We'll look at some live data. Look at some general data here. Variable valve time is normal. No misfires. Running like a clock. And the Lambda ratio is 1, which is what you want. That's perfect. The owner just told me he thinks some of his other coats came because his adaptive cruise control, yeah, in a snowstorm and everything got covered up and it said it's not working and such. So me resetting it now will probably fix most of it. We'll look at the rest of the data. The equivalence ratio, look, it's 1. It's perfect. Car's running perfect. So before I take it for a road test, let's check out the battery. So we'll check the old battery out here. Hook up the tester. Get it on nice and tight. Gotta make sure they're on tight or you'll get a false reading. We'll do battery capacity. Battery. 550. And we'll see what it says. Okay, it's a good battery. The state of charge is 100%. He drove here from Kentucky, so it's fully charged. And the state of health is 70%. It's lost like almost 100 cold cranking, but that's still 70%, so it's okay. A lot of that stuff probably was because he was in a snowstorm with things. Added air to the tires at some point in time. It had a low pressure on the tire, which it doesn't have now. And we can see it's got a pretty good backup camera here. You can really see quite well. So I won't have my neighbor's mailbox there. Very quiet engine. You're reasonably high up in the air so you can see what you're doing. And since it's all-wheel drive, we don't have to worry about the snow, do we? Whee! 6 speeds. Shifts like a dream. And you can see, if you can see what I'm looking at, it does have a heads up so we can see how fast you're going. Even though it's bright outside, I see it's doing 14, 15, 16. Now it's against the road. You can see it a little better probably. Brakes are nicely proportioned. So we'll take it to our little drag strip here. There's nobody behind us. So we'll come to a stop. This is all-wheel drive, so it's not going to burn any rubber. It tried to. Nice crisp acceleration, nice quiet ride. It's definitely much of an improvement over the smaller Mazda. It's made in Japan, the other one's made in Mexico. And then when you got to accelerate to pass somebody, you floor it. You can see it's picking up nicely. It's got some nice acceleration with that turbo. Mind you, it'll wear things out a little bit faster too, but hey, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? Nice, somewhat stiff zoom handling. I can feel really nice feedback swinging it back and forth. Got nice handling. Some people might say it's a little too stiff, but hey, if you want to have some fun driving, this is what you want. Like the owner said, this was his compromise between speed and handling versus functionality that his wife wanted. And when we come to a stop, I agree with the owner. I love it because it doesn't have that stupid stop-start technology where you got to push the button to keep it from doing it. It just runs like a normal car. And unlike the Ford that this replaced, it doesn't leak water and it doesn't fall apart in front of your very eyes. Said about the turbo, of course, you're going to get worse gas mileage. If you drive it hard, you can see I'm ruining even his. He was averaging 20-something, but now it's only averaging 16.7 because I'm driving it like this, and it will use more gas. I like this heads-up display, so I can see that I'm doing 42 miles an hour now. I don't have to look down, keeps my eyes on the road. And compared to his other vehicle, which happens to be a Toyota Prius with like 175,000 miles on it, and really hard miles, all done in Queens in New York City, this thing rides like an absolute dream compared to what one of those Priuses rides. They have a reasonably rough ride in those things. Nothing like the acceleration that this thing has too. Try doing this in a Prius, and it's not going to act up like that. At least with the older Priuses like he has. We're going fast, I'm flooring it, and it's handling like a dream. It is a practical, fun car. It's made in Japan. It's solid built. It handles really well. I'm not a turbo fan because I know they wear out faster and I'm a cheapskate. But it's still a reasonable size 2.5 liter engine. So it's not like some stinky little 1 or 1.3 liter tiny engine pushing it as far as it can go. They look good, they're fun to drive. Hey, and it's not leaking like his Ford did. And it's very luxurious. So I gotta say, he made a good choice buying this instead of buying the cheaper 30 that's made in Mexico. This is made in Japan. You can feel the quality in it. That 6-speed automatic tranny shifts like a dream. I gotta say, hey, he made a wise choice. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.